it's going to be cold, and the rut is going to be great.
Nice 10, come on, Jason, some nose room.
I don't care where those bucks are going to come from or where you think they're going to come from. No matter what, they're not going to stop until they get to that downwind side.
Oh, that's a big buck, buddy.
At this point, nearly all states that hunt whitetails are open. With the turn of the October calendar comes the unofficial beginning to deer season for the country. The cameras have been running overtime across much of the country and confirming what we already suspected. Bucks are still on their food to bed to food patterns. If you think the rut is the only time to tag a mature buck, think again. October hunting can be just as good. Whitetails are slaves to their stomach, especially in the early parts of October. They'll generally be on their feet to feed every 6 to 8 hours this time of year. Early fall is a very critical time of year for whitetails, as they're packing on as much weight as possible to make it through the rut and upcoming winter. Identifying high-traffic and heavily used trails, routes, and pinch points to food sources is a great way to pin down an early-season whitetail. Deer trails are generally created from bedding areas to feeding areas and are easily identified as very narrow paths littered with deer tracks and droppings. Hunters should concentrate on lightly used trails along geographical features, as these pinch points push deer into bottlenecks of which hunters can take advantage. In some areas, these bottlenecks can be difficult to find, but they're easier than most realize. Even though the October 1 opener is passed earlier this week, the better hunting of the week can be found as cold fronts sweep across much of the U.S. and Canada Thursday and Friday, with some areas seeing over 20-degree drops in high temperatures, rising barometric pressure, and a moon phase that puts peak feeding times in both morning and evening hunting hours. This weekend is shaping up to provide some strong deer movement and opportunities. Apps like DeerCast and HuntStand have deer activity predicted to spike, and with it being the weekend, you should take that opportunity to be in the stand. Anytime there's a prominent weather change in October, whether it be October 1st or 20th, you can expect mature buck movement to spike. This is a great time to hunt core bucks that we've been getting pictures of just before or right after dark. There seems to be a time frame in October where some mature bucks will become very patternable, going to and from their prominent evening food source. This typically only lasts for a very short period of time.
Hey guys, it's Mike Reber. This week I'm coming at you from South Texas, and I want to talk about something that is equally as important as making a great shot on a whitetail, and that is what to do once you recover that animal. So once you recover your animal, you take some great trophy photos. It's really important to start the cooling process to prevent any meat from spoiling. So the first step would be to field dress that animal, get it in the truck, and get it back to camp. Once you're back at camp, you want to remove the cape. That cape is acting as an insulator, trapping hot air against the meat. So once you remove the cape, you'll have airflow around all the meat, and that will help the cooling process. From there, you need to break down your animal that much further to get it into a cooler. So back straps, tenderloins, and front quarters and hind quarters are the next step. Once you have that broken down and that deer is able to fit in a cooler, it's important to separate it from the ice. You want to keep this meat cold, but you want to keep it dry. If the meat gets wet, it'll actually dry the meat out. So you want to just keep the meat cool, keep it dry, and hopefully these tips help you during an early season hunt.
Although the temperatures are often uncomfortable, many have waited all summer to get in the stand or ground blind in hopes of tagging a whitetail. The 2023 Rut Report is proudly brought to you by these fine partners: Mossberg, since 1919; Taurus, award-winning pistols and revolvers; Pyramid Air, the right products for your needs; Raw Frozen Scents; Habit Outdoors; Forget Genetics; Reveal Cellular Cameras; SpyPoint Cameras; Stealth Cam, and Muddy Outdoors.